Hi guys, and welcome to coffee time with me. Time to have a little chat and introduce myself a little bit, get to know each other. So basically what I wanted to talk about was to let you know about my channels. I decided to, I'm pretty sure, almost 100% sure that I'm going to change up my channels. Now, and introductions. I am Valerie Critchley. The person that does most of the videoing and talking, although sometimes you will see my daughter. I have a teenager living at home. Also want to let you guys, so right now I have the channel under my name, which is fine. I probably won't change that. I'll probably leave that for maybe crafting videos, I don't know, but I do basically three things that I enjoy to video. I do the crafting, which is something that I don't do all year round though. I only do probably mostly in the winter time because we have really, really long, rainy winters here, so we spend a lot of time indoors because it just incessantly pours and it's cold and wet and damp and it goes right through you. So we spend a lot of time indoors, and winters seem like they take forever. So it's a good way to pass the winter at work. So I do crafts, and then I have the other segment of my video, which is I started doing gardening and outdoors things. And one of the things that I see that I really like is people that are apartment homesteading or homesteading. They have that homestead mentality even though they're living in the suburbs. And for me, our dream, and even my daughter, we would love to have our own self-sufficient, sustainable homestead. But we just don't have the means to be able to do that. So the next best thing is to have an apartment homestead or do apartment homesteading. So I thought it would be fun to share our adventure of how we've been working on that and things that we've been doing and some of the challenges that we face, and also what we'll probably wind up facing in the future. In fact, we only just started it, so it's an ongoing process and it takes time, as anyone knows that decides to set up any type of a homestead. It does take time. So that's the second channel that I thought I would start. Instead of mixing up the crafting and the homesteading, I would put them on a separate channel. And then the third channel that I wanted to break my YouTubing into is the outdoors part, because I think it was probably because I was raised so differently. I've lived with so many different people, and I've learned so many different ways of doing things and so many attitudes, and that for me, I'm definitely not the type of person that fits into your social everyday life sort of. You can't put me into basically I can't live by somebody else's ideas of what a person should be living, probably because of being raised like that. There's a lot of different things that I enjoy doing, and for many years I've had naysayers say, no, you shouldn't be living like that, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, and I've been miserable. And so it's not until I've started living my life the way that I want to live that I'm actually really, really happy and really contented. And to me, this is the way that a person should live, is to be able to do the things that they enjoy doing without people saying, no, you shouldn't be doing that, or you shouldn't be doing it that way, you should be doing it this way, and some people just can't live like that. They can't fit into the mold that somebody else wants to squeeze them into. And so once I've decided to make my own mold and live the way that I wanted to live, then the happiness just came. So as far as doing YouTube channels, it makes it difficult because I do so many things. I mean, I can't just paint, for example, wildlife paintings and do nothing else in my life. That's not who I am. I have to be able to do all the things that I enjoy doing. Even if I just paint one wildlife painting every 10 years and do different types of paintings, or do sculpting, or make crafts, or whatever crafts and things that I like to do, that's the way that I like to live. And that's what makes me happy. And just, for example, just painting wildlife paintings and not doing anything else for a job or for an income, that's not me. I wouldn't be able to do that. I would be miserable. So the third channel should probably be the adventure part of things, the adventure part of things that I enjoy doing. So I like spending a ton of time outdoors. I other than the crafting and a few other things in the house, I'm not into cooking. I'm not into just sitting at home, unless I like to write and I like to read and I like to do crafting. But other than that, I like being in the outdoors. Even when it's raining, sometimes I love being in the outdoors. We used to have a outdoor covered porch area, and I was out there all the time. I'd do my reading, I'd bundle up, I'd have my books and my coffee outside. So I really like being in the outdoors, and we do a lot of things together in the outdoors, my daughter and I, and sometimes I just go on my own, because there's been a lot of times when I wanted to go in the outdoors and everybody else was off doing their thing, so I'd go by myself. Whether I was climbing a mountain or hiking or whatever I wanted to do, I'd be off by myself. Or I'd be dragging the kids with me if they wanted to come. And I think also having the opportunity to live all over British Columbia has been great, because I've been able to see so much of BC, see the countryside, see the wildlife, see the animals. There's British Columbia has such different areas and different looking areas. All of Canada is actually like that. It's just fantastically different from one area to another. The wildlife, the ecosystems, the mountains, the plants, the trees, everything is so different. And so it's been great living all over BC and being able to experience even just a small part of British Columbia. And there's still so much of it that I want to see. There's so much that I want to explore. I enjoy going back to the same places that we've been before and enjoying them over and over again. I like to rock hound. Now, that's not a term that everybody knows what that is, but basically I don't collect a lot of rocks, but I like collecting semi-precious gemstones like jade and opal and agates and tiger's eye and those sort of things that you can carve or make jewelry out of. So I enjoy treasure hunting, sort of like that, and looking for things like that. I like gold panning. I like exploring for old homesteads, and if you're legally allowed to go and dig up around an old homestead, if you're allowed to find the old dump sites and look for old bottles. I enjoy things like that. I presently live on Vancouver Island. We live in an area where there's not as many bears as if you in the town. There's not as many bears, but if you go out a few miles, then you're in bear country. We've had in this town, we've had a couple of bears already shot this spring, and another one that was whining itself to get shot, because once they start going into people's yards and dragging out the garbage, if they don't have enough bear traps and enough people to do the relocating, then they wind up just shooting them, because there are so many bears on Vancouver Island and so many communities that have problems with them that they just don't have enough bear traps and wildlife people to go around to deal with them all. So sometimes once they start coming into community and they start getting into garbage, they just wind up just shooting them. I don't think the meat is wasted. They go to needy families. And then we've also lived in towns where there have been a lot of wildlife, a lot of bears, and a lot of cougars, and a lot of problems, which I'll save those stories for another day. But I still like getting out there. Make sure that I take my, take your bear mace and your bear bangers or whatever you have with you. I don't have, at this point, a gun. I don't have a rifle. I've only shot one once in my entire life. It's not that I don't like them, but we've always had kids, and I just think that having guns in the house when you have kids I just went through a phase where I guess maybe I was overprotective of my kids, I don't know, but I just didn't have guns in the house. And I'm getting a little bit carried away, but I wanted to give you a little bit of history of my outdoor adventuring. I've been, well, I'll get into more of the history of the outdoor adventuring another time, but I want to let you know anyways about breaking up my channel into these 3 different separate channels, or make 3 separate playlists out of them, and I also have a Facebook, which I think I'll keep the extra Facebook I have for doing the crafting, and I'm not sure, but I haven't fully decided how to set it all up yet, but this is a chance for you to give me some feedback and tell me what you think. And so I'll have, just to reiterate again, I'll have the crafting, which you'll see more videos come up in the wintertime, and then the gardening, or the homesteading, which will cover gardening, canning, cooking, all those wonderful things. And specifically I'll put things that I think aren't already done on YouTube. Maybe if I have some additional tips that maybe I don't see a lot of on YouTube, things that were maybe handed down to me, and then or things that I'm trying, new things that I'm doing, and then the adventuring. So adventuring will cover some trips that I would like to make in the future, and then just everything that I do that has to do with adventuring. And sometimes the adventuring and the homesteading might overlap a little bit, because foraging and collecting things out in the wild, like mushrooms, for example, drying them, putting them out for winter. Basically, that's what I wanted to chat about. So, get you to see me face to face, talk to you a little bit, and let you know what my plans are in the future. I'm anxious to read some feedback, some comments from you guys to see what you think about it, and I'll just go from there. So keep your eyes open, and so hopefully there'll be a whole new slew of videos coming up. The last couple of weeks, I guess 3 weeks or so, there have been a shortage of videos because my daughter and I have been not sharing a device, but sharing a cord for a device, which is the same cord that I'm using. And I don't know why these cords are breaking all the time, but we've gone and bought 2 or 3 additional cords, and they keep breaking. They all break in the exact same spot. So I think it's a flaw in the cord. So we're sharing a cord that went with my device that was before. It's a little bit older than all the newer cords that we've been buying that all seem to be breaking, but the older one is the one that's lasting. So it's built a little bit differently. So I hope in the future we'll get another cord and my devices will stop running out of charge, and I'll be able to get more videos uploaded. So, till next time I see you, cheers, bye for now. I just had to get one last sip in.